Battle of Geonosis is one of the most significant battles in the history of the Star Wars galaxy. It began the Clone Wars, the 3-year-long bloody struggle between the Confederacy of Independent Systems and the Galactic Republic, and it saw the first major military deployment for the Jedi in over 200 years. The primary objective of the Galactic Republic in their assault on Geonosis was, first and foremost, the liberation of the captured Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, as well as the Senator Padme Amidala, who had all been captured by Separatist forces there over the previous few days. On top of that, though, their larger strategic objectives were the capture of Separatist droid construction facilities buried deep on the planet, the destruction of the Separatist military that had been constructed there, and the capture or elimination of Separatist leadership, thus preventing the conflict from expanding. The battle began in the Petranaki Arena on Geonosis, where the captured Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, as well as the captured senator from Naboo, Senator Padme Amidala, were all set to be executed at the hands of various creatures from across the galaxy. However, this execution was ultimately interrupted by the arrival of a contingent of Jedi Knights, led by Jedi Master Mace Windu. This contingent of 212 Jedi was the largest deployment of Jedi into combat since the era of the High Republic. Their intervention ultimately delayed the attempted execution of the prisoners, as the Separatists now had to focus on fighting a battle within the Petranaki Arena. However, while an individual Jedi was significantly more capable than any individual battle droid, they were significantly outnumbered and quickly overrun by a vast number of battle droids deployed to the arena, with this confrontation concluding with the Jedi Strike Force being surrounded by battle droids and nearly forced to capitulate to Count Dooku and his Separatists. However, this moment is interrupted by the arrival of the Republic invasion force. This invasion force consisted of a fleet of 12 Acclamator-class assault ships and their respective contingents of clone troopers and their vehicles. With the arrival of this Republic force, LAAT-I gunships swept down into the arena, clearing out the battle droids that had surrounded the Jedi Strike Force and rescuing the survivors before withdrawing from the arena to carry out the primary goals of the Republic in this battle. Separatist vessels were arrayed out into two primary landing zones, mostly consisting of large Trade Federation Lucrehulk-class core ships, as well as Techno-Union Hardcell-class transports. With the arrival of Republic forces, Separatist leadership quickly scattered, with the main CIS leaders withdrawing to a command center to oversee the battle, while other key members of the Separatist alliance fled to Trade Federation core ships to prepare for an evacuation. With most of the Separatist force having already been loaded onto the core ships, the remaining Separatist forces were thrown into the battle to attempt to delay the advance of Republic troops. Republic forces landed in a large staging area just outside the Petranaki Arena. It's around this time that Republic LAAT-I gunships carried out preemptive strikes on the Geonosian hides with the intention of preventing the deployment of Nantex-class starfighters and allowing the Republic to maintain air superiority for a majority of the battle. With air superiority achieved, Republic forces began deploying onto the ground. Ultimately, from their 12 Acclamator-class assault ships, the Republic would deploy 1,600 LAAT-I gunships, 400 LAAT-C gunships designed to deploy their ATTEs onto the battlefield, over 2,100 all-terrain tactical enforcers, or ATTEs, and more than 80 regiments of clone troopers, representing the entirety of the Republic military at the time of the battle. They would come face to face with what would essentially be the entirety of the Separatist military at the time of the battle, likely hundreds of thousands of droids. The Jedi rescued from the Petranaki Arena were quickly thrust into command roles, carrying out ground assaults against Separatist forces. Now, having no formal military training, many of these assaults were nearly suicidal, with large, unmasked infantry charges across open terrain against rows of Separatist infantry. The end result was horrifying casualties for Republic troops involved in this battle, a scar that would remain with the Grand Army of the Republic through the duration of the war. While Republic troops on the ground carried out a series of frontal assaults against Separatist staging areas, their ships in the air attempted to neutralize as many of the Hardcell-class transports used by the Techno-Union as possible, preventing them from escaping. They were remarkably successful at this, since these transports were virtually unarmed and unarmored. However, the trickier problem for the Republic became the larger Lucrehulk-class core ships, which had thicker armor, making them more difficult to destroy. To counter this, the Republic had to deploy over 100 self-propelled heavy artillery turbolasers, the SPHA-T. These were escorted by these frontal assaults against Separatist forces closer and closer to the Lucrehulk-class battleships, until eventually they were within range to use their weapons against the fleeing Separatist ships. However, the core ship staging areas were some of the most heavily defended areas on the planet, planet, and as such, Republic forces found it rather difficult to get close to them. Still, a few of the core ships were destroyed before they could reach orbit, with a vast majority of them, however, being able to slip away from the planet. Meanwhile, while seeing a majority of their Separatist forces having already successfully fled to space, and the battle on the ground turning against them, the leadership of the Separatists decided to flee the planet. It's around this time that Count Dooku boarded his speeder bike and began making his way to his private hangar, escorted by a pair of Nantex-class starfighters. With a majority of the Separatist force having successfully retreated, the last of the Separatist forces began to fall back in a desperate attempt to load as many troops into the last few core ships that had yet to take off. With Separatist forces in retreat and Republic forces now fully advancing onto Separatist positions, the battle was quickly turning in the favor of the Galactic Republic. And as the Jedi were confronting Count Dooku in his private hangar while he attempted to escape the planet, the last of the Separatist forces were slipping away into orbit. There, the Separatist core ships would mate with the rest of the Lucrehulk-class battleships and disperse to their positions across the Outer Rim. Although 3 Jedi had engaged Count Dooku in his hangar, they had all failed to prevent the Count from escaping, and he was able to slip off-world as well. With the last of the Separatist forces escaping off-planet, the Republic was able to declare victory. However, it was a shaky one at best. While the Republic had managed to rescue the survivors within the Petronaki arena and capture most of the droid construction facilities relatively undamaged, they had failed to prevent a significant number of battle droids from escaping off-world, and they had completely failed to take out any major leaders within the Separatist alliance. Ultimately, the Battle of Geonosis was one of the most costly battles of the war and would go down in history as a Republic victory, although one that was won at great cost and for questionable gains. In the immediate aftermath of the battle, the Republic quickly ordered more clone troopers, more Acclamator-class assault ships, and more Venator-class star destroyers, which had not been deployed by the time of the engagement. The Battle of Geonosis was ultimately the result of the Separatist crisis, and if you'd like to learn more about that, I'll leave a link in the upper right-hand corner to a video I have all about the Separatist crisis and its ramifications within the galaxy. And I'd like you to let me know down in the comments what you think of this new video format. Is this something you'd like to see more of on the channel, or do you prefer the other type of videos that I've been doing for years now? And last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.